Tales from Tech Support. A ghost in the machine. I got a knock on my door today from a slightly panicked department manager, henceforth known as DM, asking if I was doing something to his machine remotely. His mouse pointer was moving on its own and clicking on things all over his screen. We do have remote control software installed, but I hadn't used it in a few days, so it was a bit alarming that someone appeared to be using it. I walked with DM to his office, on the way asking the usual questions: have you opened any dodgy emails? Have you downloaded any software, etc. I get to DM's office and sure enough his mouse pointer was moving and menus were popping up all over. It looked like his computer was possessed. Dialog boxes were popping up all over. Folders were open. Outlook had the new group window open. Our ERP software was on a page I didn't even know you could access without super user privileges. It was a real mess. Just a quick note about DM's setup. He has a laptop on the desk plugged into 2 monitors, with the main display being one of the monitors. There's a wireless keyboard and mouse too. Looking at his screens, there was no indication that the remote control software we use was running. No pop-up in the corner. I grabbed the mouse to try to see what's going on, but it kept moving away from where I was trying to click. At this point it's clear that something weird was going on, but I didn't have a clue where to start, so I unplugged the network cable from the wall, which did absolutely nothing to stop the pointer from moving. Okay, the computer is a laptop. It must be on Wi-Fi, right? It's at this point that I take a proper look at the laptop for the first time, looking for the function key to turn off the Wi-Fi, and I realize there's an iPhone sitting on the laptop, with the camera bump resting on the trackpad. I picked up the phone and the pointer stopped moving. Problem solved. DM and I both learned a lesson. He learned that his laptop isn't a phone stand, and I learned that iPhones can make laptops go burr. Elderly assistance during a 4G outage. This happened a couple years ago, and I think it falls into the line of tech support, seeing as it was me helping with failed system of sorts. I just finished my shift for an MSP managed service provider I used to work for, locked up for the night. Right outside was a bus stop. Usually no one was there this time of the day, around 7 PM, but I saw elderly women standing there looking puzzled and lost. I'll call her hello mom, are you alright? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't seem to see the bus times and I think I got off at the wrong place. I must have dozed off. Okay, let me help you. You have trouble reading the times or something? I checked the bus timetable board and it was blank. One of those digital ones. You know, green background, black digital clock looking text. Network error number 4G signal available. I checked my phone and sure enough, there was an outage earlier in the day. Didn't notice it because I was on the office Wi-Fi. There was no paper timetable either because idiots or kids love just ripping them off the bus stops for some reason. Or the council just didn't replace them after bad weather. Okay, that's the problem. There's an issue with the signal that gives these screens their information. Oh dear, how will I get home? I need to get back to gives me her address area. Now I know this bus stop. The route doesn't go there. Perhaps she got on the wrong bus and got turned around. In any event, I thought it over and said, okay, I can help you get home. Just come with me to my office over here. Office was less than 50 meters from the bus stop. Okay, thank you. I went into the office, unlocked and let her in the reception hall. Tiny office we worked out of, so got her to sit at one of the empty desks and offered her tea. She happily accepted. While she was having a drink, I called a local taxi company on the office line. Seeing as my phone couldn't get a signal either, explained to them the situation and they asked for her address. I asked for the lady's address and she gave me her ad because she was having trouble remembering and that had her address on it. Gave it to the taxi operator. While we waited, I just chatted with her, helped her calm down. She spoke about her husband that passed away recently and he was always the one who went out with her, so having lost him, that's why she might have gotten lost herself. We kept chatting and I tried to keep her mind off what was bothering her with the whole situation. The taxi arrived in about 20 minutes and I handed her off to them. Locked the office back up for the night, then got home. Called the taxi company later just to make sure she was okay, and the operator thanked me for assisting her and helping her get home. Never saw her again, so I hope she was able to get assistance whenever she goes out somewhere. Not a crazy angry customer story, just an elderly lady that got lost and a tech outage made it worse for her. I did forward what happened to the local council saying they need to have something better in place that doesn't rely on asserting phone providers' masts for bus screens. Supposedly it's been fixed and uses more providers for signals and also keeps a cached copy of the timetables if it loses connection. Hope this helped brighten up some of your days if you're stuck on the help desk like I was yesterday. I need you to fix Google Bing immediately. Another tale from the out of hours IT desk. Me. Service desk. Caller. Google Bing isn't working. Is the system down? It's very important I use the Bing. Note, yes. Caller actually said the Bing. Me. I'm sorry. Can you confirm which system you're referring to as I'm unfamiliar with that? Caller. Google Bing. Really, how can you not know this? Me. Google Bing is not a system we support out of hours nor in hours. This sounds like a mashup between two different search engines. What exactly is happening? Caller. I need Google Bing to do my job. This is unacceptable. I can't find Google Bing anywhere on my PC. How dare you remove this? I need you to fix Google Bing immediately. Me. May I remote in to take a look? Spend 5 minutes setting up remote connection. Turns out that caller had a shortcut on her desktop called Google Bing. This opened the Bing search homepage in Google Chrome. She accidentally changed the name of the shortcut from Google Bing to something else and hence could not find it. Me. Okay, that has been renamed now so you're good to go. Caller. Next time don't mess around with my computer. I know you guys changed this. I'm not stupid. I have a certificate of proficiency in computering. Me. Okay, thanks for calling. Click. Note, yes, caller really said computering. I died a little inside after taking this call. Factory floor blues, or how I learned to stop worrying and love working on Easter weekend. This is a long one. TL Doctor at the end. To set the stage, I work as an IT engineer for a company that manufactures things, so I normally work at corporate, but was recently working a project at one of our bigger factories while it was shut down. The work could only be done while the factory was shut down for general maintenance, and the only window the factory would give us was Easter weekend. Great, I'm going to be out of town all weekend and miss dinner. That's fine. My task at the site was to upgrade the production floor computers that are inside of expensive, protective enclosures to make sure that they don't get damaged or destroyed. During planning we communicated with the factory manager and local IT and learned that I'd be converting 20 machines, spread throughout the entire facility. Now, if you've ever worked at a manufacturing facility before, you know that conditions on the ground are often not exactly as described. But I wasn't quite prepared for what I found when we arrived. With my map in hand, marked with the very general location of each enclosure, I began to walk the factory floor. As I entered the first production room, I walked all around the room's perimeter, no enclosure. I climbed up onto the machinery catwalks to see if it was up there for some reason. No. Climb up into the next floor where you have to slink through pipes that you really don't want to touch, marked with ominous signs like hot, caustic, and waste. No enclosure on the upper catwalk. Huh. My next thought, maybe they just have the computers sitting out on a surface somewhere. So I climbed back down and walked through prod 1 again. Nothing. I marked a question mark on my map and moved into prod 2. Same routine. There is no enclosure. There is no computer. My concern level is growing now. I walked through prod 3, 4, 5 and 6 and found nothing as well. Although, I moved on to the pre-prod rooms. 1 and 2 had nothing again. Finally, like a light at the end of a long, hot, uncomfortable tunnel, I found one of the enclosures in pre-prod 3. I get my keys out and open the enclosure up, and lo and behold, there is no computer. It's just a monitor, keyboard, and mouse with cables hanging loosely inside an empty cabinet. Upon closer inspection, I see the locking mechanism on the back of the enclosure is not functional, so it was just kind of open on the back to anyone who twisted the knobs. Pre-prod 4, 5, and 6 had no enclosures either. My map, which was just supposed to be a point of reference, was now half full of notes. The production floor is huge and I did not want to scrub out back to the office until this survey was done. I moved to the line end rooms, and actually found computers in all 6 of them, but no enclosures. Line end 3 didn't even have the right kind of computer. Someone had just put a laptop out there. Oh boy, one of their production machines could just walk away. I wondered if this is what happened to the other machines that are MIA. I get to the shipping docks and to my surprise, both of the shipping enclosures exist and have computers, but on closer inspection their network connections have been crushed, probably by forklifts or pallet jacks, so they have no network connection, and thus couldn't possibly be used here. Reviewing my map, this facility that should have 20 production computers actually has 8, and 18 very expensive production enclosures are missing and no one knows where they went. And one of those 8 is a laptop, which is a huge violation of operating procedure here. After losing nearly 12 hours to just surveying because I had bad information, it took all weekend to convert these machines because of various problems each one encountered. This was a massive project, and my section isn't the only one that went to shit. Other fun highlights: an IT manager accidentally put too much weight on a massive display enclosure mounted to the wall 15 feet up, causing the 90-inch TV and 3-inch thick glass enclosure to crash straight down, destroying several electrical and network conduits and one of those 8 computers I mentioned. If they were a little more to the right, it would have caught their leg on the way down and probably killed or maimed them. The vehicle computers had shorter inactivity lockouts than our reimage process, causing several of the vehicle computers to crash and have to be reimaged multiple times. Maintenance didn't bother to disable the productivity alarms while we were there, so even with ear protection, my ears are still ringing from those klaxons going off 24/7. TL Doctor. Factory should have had 20 computers in industrial protection enclosures. It only had 8 computers, and no one knows where the other 12 went. Of those 8, only 2 had their enclosures. 2 of the computer didn't have a network connection either. The enclosure cabinets cost like $15k a pop and they are just missing. Nowhere in the facility. Several other disasters occurred, some of them life-threatening. Edit. Some of you have asked, so I will provide whatever update I can at the end of this week after our project post-mortem meeting. Should be late in the day, Friday or Saturday. Eternal Updoot. Memes are temporary but the Updoot is eternal.